can't let you go, baby. Can't let you go. I just want to tell you that. Can't let you go. No. I can't let you go.
Yeah, okay, I can't let him go. Arron Wan Bassaka was told yesterday by Eric Ten Hag, well, don't know about yesterday, but he was told by Eric Ten Hag that he's free to leave the club. Which is kind of shocking, because apparently, according to some sources, Arron Wan Bassaka is still considered to be on the fringes of the squad. Which, for me, is, considering how well he's been playing over the last few games, is just a little bit ridiculous. So, Wan Bissaka is in his 4th season at the club, and he's almost reached 150 appearances for Man United. That's more than half of those came in the first 2 seasons, and we bought him for £50 million. And in his first season, he missed just 3 league games, and in the second season, he missed 4. And obviously, beyond that point, Diogo Dalot kind of took over, usurped him in that position. And that's the way things stayed up until just after the World Cup, earlier on this season. And since the Portuguese player has been, has been unfit or unwell, or whatever reasons Ten Hag's not been playing him regularly for, personally, I think Wan Bissaka's come in and he's done all right. Yeah, there were a few games where he still looked a little bit rusty, or how can I say it, a little lazy, like he'd a rocket up his arse. You know, he'd get Ten Hag to tell him, get him by his scruff and say, look, I want you to, if you get him forward, I want you to be like, decisive in what you're doing. And if you lose the ball, I want you tracking back. I want you getting back. I want you in position. And I don't want you to rely on last ditch tackles. And I think, if the Everton game at the weekend was anything to go by, Wan Bissaka's been listening. And if you go back to pre-December, when Diogo Dalot was I've got nothing against Diogo Dalot, by the way. I just think we need 2 strong right backs, which is what I think we've got. Yeah, they offer different things, but they're both strong when they're at the top of their game. So, yeah, I think Wan Bissaka's been listening to Ten Hag, and he may be one of these other players that benefits from having Ten Hag as a manager. You got to remember, Wan Bissaka, the majority of the time he's been at the club, he's had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the manager, and then the standing manager. So and there was always fault, people picking at what are they doing in training. He doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing, and all those kind of like gripes that we had as fans, and to see a player like Wan Bissaka kind of pick up his game and offer more and changed the opinion. He's changed my opinion, that's for sure. Has he changed yours? Let us know in the comments below. So now it seems like Wan Bissaka's surplus to requirements, which, how do I feel about that? Well, I'm not sure, but the first thing that comes to mind is kind of there. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. It's a big sloppy fart, and I just think it's the wrong decision. I just don't think he should be surplus to requirements. I think there's nobody knows how much money. Ten Hag, I doubt Ten Hag knows how much money he's going to get to spend in the transfer window, and with 2 seemingly good, solid right backs, I don't think, from what could be a limited budget if the Glazers stay, that we take some of that budget and buy a right back like Frimpong. I mean, ultimately, it's down to opinion, and this is mine. I've been doing some research on Frimpong and looking at what other people have say about him, and it appears that it's mixed. While some people say he's a Ballon d'Or winning, fast-paced, great attacking, great at defence, offers you everything you could want from a right back, Others say he's more of a one-trick pony, doesn't offer too much, will never make it in the Premier League. Now, obviously, the decision will come down to Ten Hag, and I hope he's not just relying on his personal opinion of that player as it may have been formed in the past. And what he's doing instead is he has his scouts out watching him. Now, of course, there's been talk already that United, or executives from United, have met with Frimpong's agents. But to my knowledge right now, there's no set fee, as in what a transfer figure may look like. But let's say the Glazers stay. What does that mean for Eric Ten Hag's transfer budget? What does it mean? It'll mean Ten Hag will basically not have a lot of money. I mean, the Glazers had no money in January. They couldn't give him any money. He ended up with Wout Weghorst and Sabitzer on loan. And that's with, well, obviously they must have spent some money to bring him in and pay him most of their wages or whatever they're doing. But they had no transfer budget. So the question is, if the Glazers are here in the summer, where's the transfer budget coming from? Are they having to borrow? Most likely. So let's say we get 100 million. I mean, that's going on Harry Kane, isn't it? Or Osimhen. Or a striker. Or a striker from somewhere else. But if you want quality, you're going to be paying 80 million plus, which, let's say, if you've got 100 million, it doesn't leave you enough to buy Frimpong or another right back. Ultimately, Ten Hag right now, his plans must be up in the air. You know, he knows what he wants. He's thinking about how he may spend a imaginative budget, but that's all it can be right now. So why give himself that dilemma at right back? Why not stick to a tried and tested Wan Bissaka, Diogo Dalot duo? Each pushes each improves the other. United have been in a lot of games this season, will be in a lot of games next season. Those two players will get enough game time. I mean, example, it's said that Bruno Fernandes, by the end of this season, will have played the better part of 80 games. So you can imagine, between two players, if you're splitting that between two players, it's a better part of 40 games each per season, which, you know, keep themselves fit, stay injury free, and be on top of your game, push each other. Ten Hag has got no choice but to use his squad the best way he can. And I don't think it's worth spending money on a right back. Right now, United need a striker or two strikers, because we've never had two strikers. Well, not for a long time have we had two strikers. One on the bench of quality and one on the pitch. You know, two players who are going to guarantee you goals. Not two old players, not two aged players, not a post-Ballon d'Or winner who's in his dying ebbs of his career, and another player who, well, you know, is a few years younger and probably isn't going to get the chances because of the post-Ballon d'Or winner, if you know who I mean. What we need better than that. You know, United needs better than that. And unfortunately, with the Glazers as owners, we're not going to get it. I predict that if the Glazers are still owners, come the summer, Eric Ten Hag will get no more than 100 million. Maybe less, but no more. And Harry Kane's all he can go for. When really we need two strikers. I mean, okay, an ideal world, we need two strikers. Probably an experienced striker like Kane, and a backup. You know, someone who's coming up and coming through the ranks. We also need a midfielder to take some of the or attacking midfielder like a number 10, I'd say, to try and take some of the pain away from Fernandes. He can't keep playing the way he's been playing. And ultimately, playing so many games has affected him in some ways. Some of his games changed. Maybe he needs some cover again in Casemiro's position. But these are all kind of world-class players we're talking about, so it's not something you can do over one season. Ten Hag's never... I mean, even if, Sheikh Jassim takes over and gives him 250, 300 million in a transfer window, well, world-class players, maybe that's three. Maybe it's one world-class striker and two or three other kind of up-and-coming players. But United need strength in depth, but quality in depth, not just players to sit bums on seats. These players need to be able to come on and affect a game in the positions they play in. And Wan Bissaka, for me, is proven he can do that. And when Diogo Dalot has come on in recent games, he hasn't looked like the player he was pre-World Cup. So Ten Hag has decisions to make, and do I truly believe that he's said to Wan Bissaka, you can leave? I don't think he wants him to go. It may be that with all the chatter pre the last month or so, Wan Bissaka was resigned to leaving. Who knows? But personally, I think Wan Bissaka should stay. And if he does stay, I'll be really, really happy. Really, really happy. So happy, in fact, that this is how I'll feel. I will, because it'll mean Ten Hag has got more money to spend on other areas of the pitch. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Please like the video. And if you're not subscribing, please subscribe and share this with other United fans, and let's start a conversation. Thanks for watching.